So I'm going to ask you some questions, and we're going to see how we do on this. First of all, how much typically does it cost to go to university in England? And we're talking today about the English student finance system that started in 2012. So how much does it cost to go? Anyone? Yeah, how?
£9,000 a year.
£9,000 a year. Anyone else? Not quite? Yeah?
£9,250.
£9,250 is the cost of tuition fees. How much to go to university on a 3-year course? 27,000 or 27,750 if you want to do. No. Yeah.
50k.
Oh, fascinating that you say that. Wrong. Anyone else? Would you like to know the answer? Yeah. How much it's going to cost you? I don't know. This is really important. When people talk about the cost of university, and your 50,000 figure is sort of getting in the ballpark that people talk about. You could argue it's 60,000 now. It's got 9,250 a year times 3 is 27,750. There's also a living loan that we're going to talk about later. In other words, how do you afford to live when you're there? If you've got the maximum London living loan living away from home plus 9,250 on a 3-year course, you're talking nearly £60,000. A lot of money? Yeah. But here's the point. That number, for the vast majority of you, is completely meaningless. The weird thing in student finance is the price tag, the amount they say it costs, £60,000, is completely delinked from what you'll actually pay. And what really counts is what you'll actually pay. And I can tell you that the actual cost of you going to university will be somewhere between nothing and about 150 grand. And what does it depend on? Does anyone know? What's the key factor? Yeah.
How much you're earning?
How much you earn when you leave university. This is all about that. Do you know how much you repay?
I think it's if you're earning like 20-something thousand after that.
You repay 9% of everything you earn over currently £25,725 a year. 9% of everything you earn over £25,700-ish, and that figure will go up each year. So let's do a simple sum. Who's good at maths in here? We've got some volunteers. Well, okay, we'll do here. Here you go, you're ready. So if you earned £26,725 a year, how much above the £25,725 a year threshold is that?
1,000.
1,000. 9% of 1,000 is?
90.
90. So if you earn £26,725 a year, you're repaying £90 a year. Someone else, another volunteer? Yes, right. If you earn £35,725 a year, how much above £25,725 a year is that?
10,000.
10,000. 9% of 10,000 is?
£900.
£900. So at 26,700 odd quid, it's £90 a year. At 35,700 odd quid, it's £900 a year. If you earned £125,725, it'd be £9,000 a year. What you repay is in direct proportion to what you earn. If you earn £24,000 a year, how much do you repay? Nothing. Nothing. So you're starting to hear the language of how this really works. Everybody, it's a debt. It's a debt! It's a debt! £60,000, how is my life going to work? What are my children going to do? It's what you hear. When I do phone-ins, parents, how are my kids ever going to repay this £60,000 debt? Well, hold on, they're repaying 9% of everything they earn above £25,725 a year. If you're worried they're going to be low earners, that's your least worry. I'm out of breath now, I'm old. That's your least worry. If they're going to be low earners, how much do they repay? Nothing. They repay nothing. Anyone know when the debt wipes? In fact, it's 30 years after the April following when you leave university. So If you go at age 18, you've got 3 years at university, let's say, the following April you're now 21-ish, so the debt will be wiped when you're 51. And you repay 9% of everything you earn above a threshold, and I need to say it's a threshold because that figure changes each year, hopefully will go up each year with average earnings. That's what they've said. We'll talk about whether that'll stick later on. So that's the core concept. £60,000 is the price tag, but the cost to you is what you repay each year. If, and I hope it doesn't happen, you were never to get a job above the threshold in that 30 years, you would not repay a penny for your education. Who pays the most? Who will repay the most for their education?
The people that earn the most.
The people that earn the most. Technically not quite true. There's actually a bizarre curve here that says low earners pay nothing, mid-low earners start to pay something, mid-earners pay more, high earners pay more, very high earners pay more, extremely high earners start to pay less. And I'll explain why later. But yeah, in general, the more you earn, the more you repay. So my hope for you is that university is going to cost you a fortune because it means you're a high earner. This is a financially no-win, no-fee system. If you don't gain financially from your education, then hopefully you won't repay a lot for it, and it won't be prohibitive. If you're on £26,000 a year, £26,700 a year, you're repaying £90 a year from your pay packet. So that's the crucial thing, that difference between the cost of university and the price tag. But there's a few more things. Who pays for you to go to university? Who pays the tuition fees? Do you know? The government, sort of, the student loans company. You do not have to pay up front to go to university. But it's really important to make sure, especially those of you whose parents never went to university, understand. When you go to university as a first-time UK undergraduate, your tuition fees are paid automatically for you. You have to apply for it, but they're paid automatically for you by the student loans company. That 9,250 figure that we talked about earlier. That gets paid for you. That goes to them. You don't think about it. You don't actually need to think about it until the April after you graduate when you're going to be eligible to start repaying if you earn enough.